Good morning, students. How are you? Hope all of you are fine and staying at home all the time. Last day we had read the poem The Squirrel. Have you all watched the last video carefully? Okay, today we will do the question answers of the textbook. But before doing that, let's recapitulate the poem once by the time you get ready with your notebooks. In the poem The Squirrel, the poet Mildred Bowers Armstrong describes a squirrel that he discovers in his garden. The poet describes how the squirrel covered in grey fur sits in an upright position on a tree to eat a nut. Its tail looks like a question mark because of its bent shape. It loves to play with the poet and her friend. And whenever they tried to catch it, it went the other way. Okay, now let's move to the NCERT question answer. So, what is the first question? Why does the poet say the squirrel wore a question mark for tail? Draw a picture of a squirrel sitting on the ground. How would you describe its tail? The answer is the poet says that the squirrel wore a question mark for tail because the shape of its tail looks like a question mark when it sits on the ground to eat a nut. Now you are asked to draw a picture of a squirrel sitting on the ground. Here I want all of you to draw a picture of a squirrel sitting on the ground. The next is, how would you describe its tail? The answer is, I would describe its tail as fur cloths clutched together. The next question is, do we usually say that an animal wears a tail? What do we say? We usually say that an animal has a set of given characteristics rather than saying wear. The poet, however, uses the word wear to indicate the external characteristics of the squirrel. The poet, however, uses the word wear to suggest outer covering, for instance, clothes. The last and the most important question is, he liked to tease and play. Who is teasing whom and how? The answer is, here the squirrel is teasing the poet and her friend. When the poet and her friend ran around the tree on which the squirrel is sitting or tried to catch it, it went the other way, teasing and playing with them. So, these are the question answers of the text. Now, you have to note it down in your notebooks.